Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here at the Yoga Bo channel. My name is Boyce, aka Yoga Bo. Thank you for taking this journey for yourself, joining us on our journey. Today, we're going to have a really exciting practice. Here I am outside, beautiful weather today in this backyard landscape. I've got my sidekick Dexter with me. You may see him come into the frame here shortly. It's my wonderful friend Kat here that I love dearly. And I really appreciate you taking this time for yourself. If you've not practiced with us before, by all means, or if you're new to yoga, take a look at our modification and variation videos. We will be happy to help out with any postures. This is your practice. Listen to your body. If there's any pain or discomfort, by all means, come out of those poses. I'll be happy to discuss those with you after class or via email, social media, or so forth. Maybe find some alternate modifications that will help your practice. Well, without further delay, we'll go ahead and get started on our back in the supine position. Best way for me to get there is two ways. I can either hold the back of my thighs and gently rock down if I'm feeling like that's good. Otherwise, I'll just find my favorite hip and slowly take my time down to the mat. We'll just take just a moment or two to center, getting our breath nice and relaxed, trying to let loose of some of those external distractions. Starting to come into those longer inhalations and exhalations through the nose. As we breathe in nice and slow and soft, we feel our belly rise. Maybe our palms are facing the ceiling or sky. Chest is open, shoulder blades are gently sliding closer together. Maybe feeling a slight constriction in the throat. Getting that ocean breath started for the practice. We'll take just a moment, feeling grounded in this corpse pose, this Shavasana. Maybe we'll just take just a moment, think of our favorite place, maybe one of our favorite places where we feel safe, where we feel grounded. Maybe you've got some nice music in the background. I've got these wonderful wind chimes. And on the next inhale, maybe we bring that left foot to our body, walking it up close. And on an inhale, we can lift that right leg to the sky or ceiling, extending that leg, maybe flexing that leg now at the knee, holding the back of the thigh with your arms nice and relaxed in that leg. Maybe we're flexing and extending that foot as well, waking up that knee joint, that ankle. Taking just a moment to make sure that our soft tissue or muscular tissues are all prepared. When you're ready, we can start making little circles with those right toes. Maybe painting little fluffy clouds in the sky. When you're ready, we can reverse direction. This warm-up is so important, making sure not to rush the practice, listening to our body. And when you're ready, we can bring that leg a little closer to our body, start making circles with that right hip. Maybe our hand is on that knee guiding it. Maybe those circles get a little bit bigger, making sure we stay with those long inhalations through the nose, followed by those long exhalations through the nose. When you're ready at center, we can reverse direction. Remembering that all of this oxygen is food for the brain. Connecting the nervous system with our muscular system. And when we're ready, we can bring that
right knee back to center. We can take that right ankle, cross it over our left knee, opening up that right hip. Gravity can do its work as that knee drops towards the mat. If you like, for a deeper stretch, we can bring that left leg to our body, holding the weight of the legs with our arms. Our legs are nice and relaxed. Maybe we've got a flex in the toes, or flex in the feet, maybe we wiggle the toes. And whenever you're ready, we can lower that leg to the mat. If it's already there, we can unbind those legs. We'll heel toe those feet wide to the wide edges of the mat. We can slowly windshield wiper or sway our knees side to side, starting to open up that lower lumbar a little bit. And when you're ready, we can keep that right palm of the foot anchored down for stability. And on an inhale, we'll send that left leg up to the sky, heel shining at the ceiling. We can start flexing and extending that left leg now, feeling that balance now between the right half and the left half as we stretch this out. Maybe we're pointing and flexing that left foot as well. Embracing all those little crackles and pops, as long as there's no pain or discomfort. When you're ready, we can start painting those circles or little clouds with that left foot, those left toes. And when you're ready, we can reverse direction. Once again, make sure this is your practice. We'll listen to our body, learning these postures, learning our body, at the same time listening, not overdoing it. When you're ready, we can bring that left leg in slightly, maybe guiding that knee in small circles with the left hand. Maybe your arms are outstretched for stability. Staying with those long breaths. And when you're ready, back at center, we can reverse direction. Thank you so much for the practice today. I was very much looking forward to this, my first one of the day. When you're ready, we can bring that leg back to center. We'll take that left ankle, cross it over our right knee, letting either gravity do the work, or we can bring that right leg in with our arms, making sure our shoulders are relaxed, our jaw and face is relaxed as we stretch that left hip, really opening it up, maybe using that left elbow as a way to keep that hip open. We bring it into our body possibly. Maybe rocking back and forth, just so gently, seeing how it feels, even just that little movement. When you're ready, we can let go of that leg, sending the foot to the mat, unbinding those legs. Once again, we can take the feet a little wide if you like, and just sway those knees for a moment. Maybe we walk the feet to the body, reach down, grabbing those knees, hugging the knees in, maybe giving our legs a hug. We can find our seated posture. You can rock to an easy seat if you like. Maybe you can find your favorite hip. Take a moment and just press up with that top hand. Once we're here in this easy seat, we're going to do some half moons and seated twists. Feel free to have your legs as any comfortable position as you would like, whether they're crisscross, extended out in front of you. But we'll go ahead and ground through those sits bones, sitting nice and tall through the spine. We're always going to try to stack bones here. Shoulders are going to be looped up, back, and down. Ears are over the shoulders, so we're not projecting forward with that text neck or slumping forward. But we're sitting nice and tall. On an inhale, maybe we float those arms up overhead, extending through the fingers. And on an exhale, we can float that right hand back down, using it as a kickstand, and reach across the top of our body with that left arm, making sure we don't
bend forward in the spine, but we're nice and in this flat plane, always that invisible pane of glass in front of us and behind us. Feeling that nice deep stretch in the left rib cage, that fascial tissue. And maybe on that inhale, we ride that inhale and that breath up, reaching tall. On the exhale, we can float that left hand down. Now we're reaching over with that right hand. Grounding down now to that right sits bone. Helps us for that center of gravity, helps us keep that balance as we reach across the top. Not to put too much pressure on this kickstand. And on an inhale, we can float these hands up, back to center. Maybe reaching, we make fists and we start to make circles with our wrists, floating them down just gently. Once we reach our shoulders, maybe we reverse direction. Just slowly bringing these hands down. When they're in our lap or by our side, we can sit nice and tall on an inhale, bringing our ribs out of our waist. And as we exhale, we can slowly, gently twist to the right side. Maybe using that right hand once again as a kickstand behind that right glute. Maybe the left hand is on your right knee, gently guiding it. Inhaling tall. Exhaling as we twist. Inhaling tall again, extending through the crown. Exhale, we twist. Looking over that right shoulder maybe. Inhale, we can bring it back to center nice and slowly. As we exhale, we can do the same thing on the opposite side. Now using that left hand as a kickstand. Got the little baby bluebirds are waking up. Inhaling tall. Exhaling a little deeper twist. And twist. Looking over that left shoulder. Inhale, we can bring it back to center, nice and easy. We'll go ahead and find our favorite hip, swing the feet around for tabletop. Here we are stacking bones. Hands are going to be under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, middle fingers, knuckles are pointed forward. Shoulder blades are slowly getting closer together. Our core is engaged as we bring the belly button to the spine. Making sure that we're pressing down through those hands, maybe pressing down through the tops of those shins and feet, grounding, taking a moment, maybe thinking of that safe space, that safe place that we all love. Inhaling, feeling strong. Exhaling all those cares and worries of the day away. And on the next inhale, maybe that head and tail start to lift to the sky. The belly button drops for our first cow. Not putting too much pressure on the lower spine. Then as we exhale, we ride this breath, dropping the head and tail, lifting the belly button for cat. Pressing down and forward through with those hands. Riding this breath if you like. Inhaling slowly through that nose so that the crown and tail shine high. Feeling that deep stretch in the belly as we slowly exhale through the nose, staying with those long breaths. Pairing that mindful breath with the mindful movement. We'll do one more full round, inhaling slow into cow. And exhaling so deeply into cat. As we inhale and find that neutral spine, we can bring our hands to the top of the mat. And on the exhale, we'll slowly and gently lower down our belly, everything on the mat. We'll go nice and relaxed in the legs. Maybe the favorite cheek or chin finds the mat. Our hands will be under our shoulders for a 3-part cobra. This is a great heart and chest opener, throat opener. On an inhale, where we relax in the legs, we're going to press down with the pelvic triangle.
which will lift our head, maybe the tops of our shoulders, even our hands off the mat. As we exhale, we slowly lower it down. So we're only pressing with that pelvic triangle here in the midsection. On the next inhale, we press down with the pelvic triangle, legs are relaxed. Maybe that head and top of the shoulders, maybe a rib or two comes off the mat. Hands can stay for stability if you like. Exhale, we slowly lower down. On our third inhale, fullest expression, pressing with that pelvic triangle. The crown shines at the sky, heart shines forward, shoulder blades are close together, chest is open. Exhaling slowly through that nose. We lower down, finding our favorite cheek on the mat, taking a bend in the knees, windshield wipering the legs. So thankful for this practice. Again, feeling grounded, feeling safe and secure. Staying with those long breaths, we can bring our feet to the floor, curl the toes, press down through those hands on the inhale, keeping the elbows close to our body. We'll find our first going through table. We'll exhale and find our first child's pose of the day. Big toes are close together. Knees can be close or far apart, whichever you like. As we slowly lower down, maybe the brow meets the mat, maybe a pillow. Arms can be extended out front. Forearms can be on the mat, palms on the mat. Maybe if you have shoulder discomfort, your arms can be by your side. Taking just a moment to scan the body. Child's pose is a great restorative pose. It's great for scanning the body. Where our focus goes, that's where all of our healing energy goes. It's where all of our energy goes. Maybe now is a good time to focus on that place for just a moment, just a snapshot in time, feeling safe. On that next inhale, we can root down through those fingers if they're out in front of you, pressing down into tabletop, curling those toes, lifting the knees an inch or two off the mat. And on an exhale, the hips can come high, slowly walking our dog, pressing through the fingers and not the palms. As the hip gets higher, the back is nice and flat. Shoulder blades are sliding down the spine, shoulders away from the ears, and maybe those heels just get a little bit closer to the mat. If you have some discomfort in your hamstrings, there's tightness, we can keep a bend in our knees if you like. You can always go to puppy pose, child's pose, meet us in mountain. We'll only be here for a moment longer, but down dog is a wonderful posture for strength, for stability, for awareness. And on an inhale, we'll lift the heels. On that exhale, we'll bend the knees, slowly walk our feet to the center of the mat. Maybe we walk our hands to meet our feet. We can walk those hands up the leg if you like. And on an inhale, we're going to find our half lift. Here we are, feet are about hip width apart. We've got a bend in our knees so that we have our center of gravity. Back is nice and flat, parallel to the ground if possible. Shoulder blades are close together. Your hands can be on your thighs for support. They can be outstretched as if you have airplane wings. This is a great strengthener for your abdominals and your lower back. Make sure you don't overdo it. You can tuck your tailbone slightly. But as we inhale one more time, we feel those back ribs really expand, feeling strong. And as we exhale, we can find a forward fold or ragdoll, where we take a deeper bend in the knees. The torso can now rest on those thighs. Your head can hang below your knees if that's in your practice. If not, we can always meet in mountain, which is standing. We'll be right there. But we're relaxed, letting the upper back relax for just a moment. Maybe our hands are on the mat. Maybe they're holding the elbows. But when you're ready, we can root down through those feet. On an inhale, spread those toes. Inhale, reaching tall, nice and slow, not to overdo or come up too quick. We'll find our tall mountain. Here we are. Everybody knows mountain's one of my favorite postures. I think it is extremely important to find our best mountain. I feel like we'll start at the feet and work our way up. Here we are. Feet are about hip width apart. Toes are nice and spread. Knees are not locked.
Tailbone is tucked slightly. Tummy is nice and engaged. Shoulders are looped up, back, and down. Ears are over our shoulders. Maybe the palms are out and stretching out front, shining in front, so that our chest is open and shoulder blades are close together. We're engaged here about 20% head to toe. So this is one of those things, if we're staying with that long inhale and long exhale, it is tiresome after a couple minutes. Maybe our feet are pressing down, actively pressing down and away, as if we're trying to split that mat down the middle. Our thighs will be engaged. Maybe you've got cactus arms, maybe the arms are engaged, but we're feeling really strong right here. This is a great, great posture because we take this from the mat into our daily life. You'll notice that when you start to stand in lines, you'll have better posture. You'll feel stronger. You won't be as tired in the evening. Really, really nice. And when you're ready, we can go ahead and relax for a moment. We're going to heel toe these feet to an appropriate but wider stance. We're going to do our goddess squats. It is wonderful hip opener, which is extremely important, I believe, in some of these yoga postures and certainly for our body. So our toes are pointed out slightly, our heels are pointed in, knees are going to be over the feet, making sure we're not bringing our knees in, but we're nice and wide because we want to have that those open hips. Tailbone is tucked, so we've got that invisible pane of glass in front of us and behind us, and we can, maybe you've got a wall or a chair to hold on to, certainly at first, but what we can do on an exhale is we slowly lower down. I don't know if you notice I keep getting a little lower, but here we are in a goddess squat. There's so many great things we can do from this posture. We're nice and tall through the spine, staying with that deep, deep breath. Maybe our hands are in gratitude, which is very nice, focusing more on the leg strength. Maybe our arms are framing our ears, really starting to engage those shoulders now, maybe in cactus, engaging that upper back. They can be locked behind us maybe as we do a throat opener. Seems a little iffy, but if that's your practice, but we'll stay here for just a moment longer, feeling nice and strong. You can be as tall or as far down as you like. You'll notice as you practice this posture, you'll feel more comfortable, deeper as you go, even being able to rock side to side. But by all means, start very small. Maybe on the next inhale, we've been there for a moment. We'll take the bend out of the knees. Maybe walk heel toe or walk the feet together, finding a nice little mountain. We'll call it a rebound posture. Inhale, nice and tall, reaching, pressing through those feet, reaching with those fingertips. Exhale, we'll bring those arms down slowly, staying with that long breath. And there we go. So that was our goddess squat. By all means, practice with that, have fun with that posture. We'll now do our chair. We'll take our feet, they'll be a little bit closer than hip width apart. Toes might be a little closer than the heels, so we're slightly pigeon-toed if that's okay with you. On an inhale, I'm going to take a little bend in my knees, a little bend in my hips, as if I'm starting to set down in a invisible chair. And I'll take these arms, float them up, and frame my ears. So here we are in our chair, or some would call it a high chair pose. You'll notice the lines. I have a almost like a 90-degree line here. You can lower down if you like into that low chair. However, I would say staying with that tall chair is best. Staying with those breaths, making sure your shoulders are away from the ears. Staying here for about 5 breaths, so we've got about 1 more to go. But our toes are light. Weight is in the heels. As we exhale, we can take the bend out of those knees, maybe standing tall, maybe our hands are at gratitude. We'll go 1 more round of those if that's okay. As we inhale, we can bring those arms up, slowly hinging at the hips, bending the knees, finding that strong grounding chair pose. We want to be somewhere where it's the edge of comfort. So you can see I can still talk. However, after a few minutes of this, my shoulders, my lower back, my thighs will be feeling it for sure. So we don't want to overdo it. But when you're ready, we can maybe inhale, taking the bend out of the knees. Whew, feeling good, feeling strong. And hopefully taking this strength into our balance. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at tree, which is a great little balancing posture to start with. So what we can do is I'm already starting. I'm so excited. Here I am standing here in my mountain. I'm going to slowly send my weight over to my right side so that my navel, belly button slowly shifts over. You'll notice as you take the weight to your right side, that left foot gets light. By all means, you can have a chair or a wall or prop with you. But as that gets light, we can take that as we're opening our hips. We can take that foot, and now we can either bring that heel maybe to our ankle. Maybe if you want, hands can be in gratitude. Maybe if you want, you can send that foot up to your calf. Woo. We want to skip the knee because we don't want to put any side pressure on that right knee of ours. If you like, you can send that foot even higher up to your thigh. I'm just going to keep mine at my calf. But we can just stay here for a few more breaths, feeling strong. By all means, if you need assistance with the wall, we've been there this morning, as a matter of fact, just doing some little stretching. Balance is definitely something I'm finding is not my forte, but it makes it enjoyable for the practice. And when you're ready, we can exhale, slowly lower that foot down. Taking a moment, we'll roll out that right ankle, hearing, listening, feeling for any pops, any discomfort. But yeah, the balance is nice. It's always good to have something to work on. You know, these are the fun little goals. So now we're going to go ahead and move this to the other side. We'll go ahead and take that navel, slowly move it towards over that left foot now, feeling that right foot getting a little bit lighter. And if you like, on an inhale, slowly that foot can come up. If you like, you can always just stay toes. Ball of the foot can stay on the ground. Maybe that heel is on your ankle. But if you'd like to bring the foot off the ground, it can come up. Your gaze should be out in front of you, hopefully staring at a singular spot. If I look like I'm staring at you guys, it's because I am. Y'all are my drishti, or my focal point. And so I'm trying to maintain a contact as I stay here. We'll stay here for just another couple breaths. Really strengthening these feet and ankles. Make sure I've started doing this. Rub your feet. Give yourself a foot rub. Bribe your spouse into, making them give you a foot rub. I don't know. Figure it out, because it feels really good on the feet, especially when you do it at nighttime. It's really nice before bed. So if you don't have anybody that you can talk into it, by all means, bite the bullet, rub your feet. It'll feel really good. But when you're ready, we'll go ahead and take that foot, slowly lower it down to the mat. I start to ramble. All right, inhaling, floating those arms up, feeling good in that tall mountain, reaching through those fingertips. Slowly we can float those hands down, maybe taking a hinge in our hips, taking that little bend in the knees. We're going to find that half lift. As we work our way to the mat, here we are in that half lift, bending those knees for center of gravity, shoulder blades close together, feeling grounded, maybe thinking of that place one more time, staying with those long breaths, that safe, secure place. Our gaze is down, shining that crown to the wall in front of us, our tail to the wall behind. And then on that next exhale, we're going to take a deeper bend in the knees. We're going to let that torso rest on our thighs. The head's going to hang. If this isn't in your practice, you can meet us in tabletop or child's pose. We're going to be right there.
When you're ready, those hands can find the mat, slowly walking out to the top of the mat. Maybe the feet walk towards the back, lowering one knee at a time. Here we are in child's pose or child tabletop. We're going to stay here. We're going to do a little table side plank action. So feeling nice and strong through those fingers, the knees under our hips once again, hands under our shoulders. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to take the, in this case, so I can face you, I'm going to start with my left side. I'm going to take my left, with the left hand, sweep the left foot around, feeling strong. Take that left hand, and on an inhale, reach it up. By all means, if you need a wall or a chair for support, this is great for stability in your shoulder, your hips, opening the chest. It's great for balance. We'll stay here for a couple breaths, feeling nice and strong. Eventually, we're going to get into some planks, and this will be good. Prep work for those. Maybe if you like, you can try for that extra balance and strength. You can try to lift your left toes off the mat. You can always pulse those, lower them down when you're ready. And on an exhale, we can take that left hand and that left knee back to the mat, nice and slow. Sorry, my back will be towards you on this one. On the next inhale, we'll swing that now right leg towards the bottom corner of the mat. Maybe take that right hand extended. Now you can see kind of a backwards view of this pose. So my shoulders are away from the ears. I'm trying to make a line from up my leg, up my side. And again, you can lift those toes off the mat if you like, giving the glutes, those hips, nice strength. When you're ready, we can exhale, slowly swing that leg back around. The knee can find the mat, the hand can find the mat. We'll go ahead and bring the hands to the top of the mat, exhaling down, lowering our body for our Sphinx. Elbows under the shoulders, forearms and palms are on the mat, legs are relaxed. Shoulder blades can be getting closer together. If your elbows are further from your body, you're going to feel a deeper stretch in your middle or upper back. The closer your elbows are to your shoulders or your body, the more it will be in your lower back. The crown is shining high, the chest is shining forward. It's a great throat opener. Tighten up that skin under our chin. Keep it nice and taut down there. Inhaling all of that good air. And as we exhale, we can slowly lower down. Finding the mat with our favorite cheek once again. Taking a bend in the knees if you like. Windshield wipering those. We'll bring the legs down when you're ready. Curl the toes. Hands can be under the shoulders. And then on inhale, keeping the elbows close to our body, we'll press up. Always hearing those pops. We'll exhale through table into child's pose one more time. Big toes can be close together, knees close or far apart. Brow can be on the mat, arms stretched out front. Just taking just a moment. Staying with those long breaths still. This is where the meditation starts. The body is working. The brain is clear. Thinking of that wonderfully grounded space, that place that we love, that you love and you're thinking of. When you're ready, going back to those breaths, we can inhale, pressing down through those fingers into tabletop for just a moment. Our gaze should be down at the middle of the mat. That's where we'll find a seat. I'm just going to find my favorite hip here. Swing around. We'll do
2 little seated stretches. First one will be bound angle or Baddha Konasana. Knees can be out wide. Maybe you've got props under those knees. Maybe you're sitting on a block or a pillow, but we can flap those butterfly wings if you like, something more dynamic. If you want, they can be static. The feet can be close to your body to work your inner thighs. They can be further out, but we're sitting nice and tall on the inhale, and exhale if you like. We can hinge forward. Make sure that when you're folding forward to never collapse at the back, and really round that spine. We want to have a nice and straight spine when we fold forward most of the time. It's a great strengthening for our tummy and lower back. It's a great stretch for our hips, our glutes, our hamstrings. Just something to note and remember. Maybe I like to rock back and forth slightly. Sometimes I can get into a little bit deeper of a stretch, really stretching out these muscles that we just worked. So we'll take that extra moment just to love on them just a little bit longer. And on an inhale, when you're ready, we can come up. We'll send those legs or those feet out to the end of the mat. Shake them out if you like. We're going to do some Paschimottanasana. It's a posterior stretch. So the legs are out there. The feet are flexed. Toes are nice and wiggly. You can have your knees bent if you like, but we're sitting nice and tall through the spine. And on an inhale, grounding through those sits bones, shoulders, nice and relaxed back. On the exhale, we can start to hinge at those hips. Notice once again that we're not collapsing in the spine, but we're staying nice and straight, extending through the spine. As we just hinge forward, each exhale seems like it gets a little bit easier. Gravity kind of opens this lower back and really starts to send it down, but you can use your hands, blocks for support, use your legs. The goal is not to touch your knees to your nose though, so we don't want to focus on something like that. But we'll stay here for just a moment longer. These forward folds are wonderful. It's something that I neglected for too long, especially as a runner. I thought for a long time I was born without hamstrings because I didn't have hamstrings. Turns out I just never stretched my hamstrings. So now that I'm starting to stretch them, I'm actually learning that I have them back there. They're just now finally being used properly. So I'm a huge believer in these forward folds, but just do them very safely and at your own pace. When you're ready, we can inhale and ride that buoyant breath up. We can come up. We shake those legs out if you like. We're going to find our bridge and inversion. We can hold the back of our thighs if you like, slowly lowering down. Maybe you find your favorite hip. But once we're there, we can hug our knees in if you like, maybe rocking side to side on the spine, giving that a massage. We can let go of those legs and the feet can drop exactly where they are, right by our body. The arms can be by our side. Maybe the palms are up or down, your choice. And on an inhale, we're going to press down through those feet, sending our hips up into our bridge. You can certainly do a wheel if that's in your practice, making sure that your head and neck are relaxed, no pressure. Your shoulders are a little bit of a ledge. Maybe on the exhale, if you want, you can lower those hips slowly, making this dynamic, bringing that movement to the stretch. And on the inhale, we press down with the feet one more time, sending those hips up. If you want to make it restorative, you can put a block under your tailbone and keep your hips up. Maybe you interlace your fingers, creating more of a ledge with your shoulders. And keep your hips up. Maybe on the exhales, you're still lowering them down. This is your practice. Do whatever feels good for you. It's making sure you're staying with those long inhales through the nose. Inhale and pressing with the feet. And falling down on that 4-count exhale through the nose. Maybe this time we keep the hips on the mat. We bring those knees in one more time for a nice counter stretch. Maybe this time we bring the lower back into the mat.
And when you're ready, we can let go of those legs and send the feet to the sky for our inversion. Feel free to do a half shoulder stand, do a handstand, headstand, whatever you like. Legs up a wall. Using a wall for a prop on inversions is wonderful, but we're nice and relaxed in our legs. We don't have any stretching. There's no muscle use. We are merely just letting the blood flow from our feet and legs down into our heart space. Very important. Keep that blood flow going. We'll just take just a moment. Feel free to work with a few different inversions if you like. Happy baby. So many different variations. Still staying with those long breaths though, feeling grounded in our back, in the mat, melting into the mat, maybe thinking of that wonderful place. And as we exhale, we can slowly bring our legs down, maybe lower to the mat. If you're in an inversion, those feet can slowly find their way to the far corners of the mat. We'll bring any props, blankets, pillows you may need. For our final pose of this practice, our Shavasana or corpse pose. Maybe our toes are starting to fall wide. We've opened those hips. That breath is getting shallow. We are no longer thinking about those long inhalations and exhalations. The practice is done. Now just being grateful for the time we've spent on the mat, listening to our body. Maybe one last time, feeling so safe, feeling grounded. Maybe we think of that place one more time. It makes us feel so good. And even though we're not there now, here we are feeling equally as safe, equally as grounded and supported, feeling loved and rejuvenated, energized and spacious. This calmness, this is you, this is who you are. Calm, strong, aware, ready to take this energy off the mat, knowing that whenever you're ready and that level gets low, you can just bring it right back. I will always be here. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, though, maybe we get awareness in our toes. Maybe we get awareness in our fingertips. We feel that spacious energy, bringing awareness up our limbs. On that next breath, maybe you take just that little deeper breath, just feeling a little bit different than we did an hour ago. embracing that feeling, and never forgetting how we got to that feeling. Always available. We slowly walk our feet to our body. Maybe you find your favorite side and just rest in that grounding fetal posture for a moment. Maybe with your top hand, when you're ready, we can gently and slowly press up. Once again, finding that easy seat if you like. Feeling nice and tall but relaxed in the spine, stacking those bones. Shoulders are now definitely relaxed, looped up, back, and down. Feeling great, grounding through those sits bones. On an inhale, I'm going to float my hands up overhead, bringing those hands into gratitude. Exhaling, floating the hands down to my heart space. The light in me loves, honors, and respects the light in you. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Thank you so much, even more importantly, the most importantly, taking this journey for yourself. I think this is so important for all of us. I really, really hope you're enjoying this. If you are, please spread this to as many people as possible. I think everybody can get something out of this yoga practice. I love you all. Keep riding that wave. Namaste.